Yikes. Another week at Windrose Church. Yeah! Bringing you the spiciest of sermons. Week after week. Hard-hitting content. Nothing but the best, the juiciest, funnest of times. Yes! Thanks for being here, guys. Welcome to Windrose. My name's Brett. I'm the pastor here. I am super happy that you all decided to join us tonight. Yikes, man. I just came from my house, and my sink is overflowing. I don't know what's happening. Every so often, I hear a low hum from this direction. And then my sink gurgles, and water comes up. So that's fun. My mom is at my house right now. Thank you, Denise. She's the bomb. She's on emergency bail duty in case it gets too overflowed. Wow, can't wait to go home. I hope it fixes itself. Please pray with me for that. All right, let me ask you this. Are you the type of person to have your phone on you always, all the time? Yeah? No? I've had a phone for about 11 years, and I think for all 11 years, my phone has always been at my side. Like, you always got your phone on you, you know? I'm the type of guy, I don't have a purse or a fanny pack, so I keep my phone right here, front pocket. It's there all the time, you know? Something happens, I got my phone right here. If I'm at home, sometimes I put it on the counter, but it's like real close by. Right? It's in eyesight, at least, so I can hear it vibrate, or I can hear it make a noise. You know, I don't know what girls do, but guys, we have this thing called the 3-point check. Guys, you know what I'm talking about. Anytime you get up or move, or your situation changes whatsoever, you go, yeah, got all three. Yeah. You get out of the car, you're, yeah, got all three. You put your wallet back in after getting a meal, and you're like, yeah, keys are still there, phone is still there, wallet, I just put that there. Right? 3-point. Girls, what do you do? How do you know you have your stuff? You don't. Okay. The one time your phone is not in your pocket, you freak out though, right? A little mini panic attack. You're like, wait, what? This is just my thigh. Where's my phone? And then you realize it's in your other hand, and you're like, I'm an idiot. Mini freak out for no reason. Your phone is always with you. Do you guys ever have not ever have, do you have a friend or a parent who just doesn't seem to ever have their phone on them, you know? You text them, you call them, they just don't answer. You text them something very urgent. You're like, hey, I'm at Starbucks. Well, you want me to pick you up? 3 hours later, they respond, and they're like, peppermint mocha. Like, no big deal. You're like, okay, I'm clearly not there anymore. Check the timestamps. What are you doing? After like 2 minutes, you start to think to yourself, like, why do you even have a phone? Why do you even have a phone if you're not going to answer it? I text you, you don't ever text back for 3 hours. Why do you even got a phone? You phone them, no response. Why you even got a phone, right? You start getting upset like it's all their fault. I'm sometimes that guy who doesn't respond for 2 days. I'm so sorry. But you know, it's hit or miss. You win some, you lose some. Sometimes you see a notification, you swipe it away, it's gone forever. You never see it again. So I'm sorry for that. Today what I want to talk to you about is that God is with you always. And even furthermore, I have a question about that. Do you live like it? God is with you always. Do you live like it? All right, that is what we're talking about. Joshua 1 verse 9 says, "This is my command, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." With you wherever you go. Don't be afraid. Don't be discouraged. What do we have to be afraid of if we know that God is like right there with us in what we're doing, right there with us? Why are we discouraged if we know that God is guiding my steps, no matter what they look like or seem like? I know that God is with me. Why am I getting discouraged? Right? He says, be strong, be courageous, because God is with you wherever you go. And that's like so simple, yet so profound. You know, God is with you. So we're going to unpack that, dig into it a bit. First off, I want to talk about just all how the Bible just talks about it over and over and over again, So it's all over the place. Like we're in the Christmas season right now, This is all about Santa Claus and Christmas trees and peppermint mochas, gifts. Yeah, come on. And Jesus' birth, too, just in case you forgot, or maybe you mixed it up with Easter, and you're like, is this the one where he was born, or is it the one where he died? Which one are we celebrating here? This is birth. This is Christmas. He's born. Did you know, before he was even born, an angel appears to Joseph, says this. It's Matthew 1, 21, 23, straight from the Bible. Hard-hitting content. Says, she will have a son, and you are to name him Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins. All of this occurred to fulfill the Lord's message through his prophet. Look, the virgin will conceive a child. She will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means God with us. It's in his name. That's what they will call him. Emmanuel, God is with us. Through Jesus' life, as he's living, we got a big record of it. He's always telling people, like, you just got to chillax, man. I'm with you. I'm right here. You're getting all worked up for him, right here. One of my favorite stories is the time where he's going across a lake on a boat. He's with his disciples, the 12 of them, and he's been preaching up a storm, so he's a little tuckered out. So he's going to take a nap on the boat. Nice seaside boat time, nap time. So he lays his head down on a pillow, takes a nap. And as he's napping, a big storm rolls in, and the disciples start freaking out, right? They're like, Jesus, what do we do? What do we do? We're going to die. And Jesus wakes up. He's like, guys, chill. I'm here. I'm with you. He calms the wind and waves. He says, what are you so afraid of? What are you so afraid of? I'm here. He's right there with them, right? And finally, my favorite part where he talks about being with them, these are not the only 3 times, by the way, is at the end of Jesus' life, when he is crucified, 3 days, he's missing, he comes back, he's hanging out with the disciples in the flesh, he's teaching them more things, he's saying, this is what I had to do, this is why I had to do it, and then when he's done all, he says to them his last words to them, it's Matthew 28, 19-20, he tells them, therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age. And surely I am with you always. He keeps reminding us that he is with us, and what comes with the fact that he is with you. So God is with you always. Do you live like it? Does it come into your life? Is that a realistic aspect of your everyday life, that God is with you? And the reason I ask that add-on, do you live like it? It's because, God is with you. That's some like Sunday school level stuff. We learned that very, very early on, that God is omnipotent. He's everywhere. He's with us at all times, right? We know that, but do you live like it? Do you realize that in your everyday life? Because it can be very, very easy to just forget about it, to just walk your life and let it go though as it is, and just not remember it and forget about it, right? So back to the phone example, right? Our phones with us all the time. I'm the type of person, I don't know if you are, but like Google is your best friend. Every little thing you run into, you Google it, right? Any question you got, you Google it. You lose your pizza pop box, you type into Google, how long do I gotta microwave these juicy pizza pops in the microwave? How long? And then it tells you, right? Because you lost your box. I like to, when I Google things, I like to add descriptive words just to keep it fun for Google's sake. I Google things, what is the best way to cook this juicy chicken breast? What is the best way? Or how long will my juicy juice box last in the refrigerator? I got a lot of problems in the kitchen that need Googling. A lot of things are expiring. Google is saving my life every day. Thank you, Google. Like every single one of my family dinners for the last 10 years, you know, we got your aunts and uncles around. There's always some question that comes up, and then you just look around and you're like, I don't know, just Google it. Like aunts and uncles. Always got so many questions. You're like, just Google it. Did you forget? We have the Google machine now. We can know everything at the tip of our fingers, right? But every so often, do you forget that you got the power to Google things? I do. Oh my goodness. A recent example is I got pretty messed up feet around the age of 11 or 12. I started getting all this pain in there. So I wear those Dr. Scholl's gel inserts. You know what I'm talking about? You remember the commercials? Are you gelling? I'm gelling. Oh yeah, I got them right now. So I wear these things, but ever since I was 12, they only go on your heel in a bit of your arch, and they don't go all the way to the tip, you know? So they're always sliding forward, and then you got this hole in the back of your shoe, and it's super uncomfortable, and you're like, this is the worst experience of my life. I gotta get these things out of my shoe. You gotta take your shoe up, you gotta readjust, all these kind of things, and this has just been plaguing my life for so many years. I just deal with it, and only 3 months ago did I think to myself, I can Google this problem. There's got to be a solution. I can't be the only guy who's ever experienced this. Like, there's a flaw in the design. We're all experiencing this. And I Googled it, and then it's like, just get some double-sided tape and stick them down. But like, how many years? 17 years of my life. I've been struggling with this, forgetting about Google. Have you ever struggled with something so long, then it finally clicks, wait a minute, I can Google this problem that I have. My point is, like, knowing Google is with you, forgetting Google is with you, changes how your life's going. You can see the connection I'm making here. Knowing God is with you is going to change your life, every little aspect of it. Knowing that He's right there with you. Now, the truth is, since day one, God has wanted to be with you. Always wanted to be with you. In the Bible, He's always wanted to be with His people. You know, right from the bat, He's got Adam and Eve. They're in the garden. He wants to have a nice picnic, hang out, and then they go and sin. People are always sinning, making mistakes, choosing things beside God, other than God. We choose other things. That is sin, right? Abraham and the Israelites, God is like, I want you to be my people. I'm going to be your God. And they choose other things, right? Moses and his squad, you know, he's leading them. He wants to take them to promise. He wants some milk and honey. Come on, God's got good food taste. But they sin, they choose other things, they complain, all these kinds of things. Over and over again, we're always choosing things over God. We're always sinning, right? And either it's our actions or our thoughts. We just choose other things. You know, it's my plans, my ways, my ideas, what I want to do with my life. It's about me, my way, and that's what we choose. And God has paid the ultimate price to remove every time you chose not Him. Every mistake you've made, every sin that you ever did, He's already paid the price. That's the whole story of Jesus. Coming, going to the cross, He becomes your sin. He took the punishment that your sin deserves while He's on the cross, and now He's dealt with that, all because God wants to be with you. So even though we sin, we make this mistake, and we separated from God, God says, no, it doesn't matter. He wipes that clean. He says, come back, be with me. I want to be with you. Do you want to be with me? He wants to be with us. Since day one, always, always, always wants to be with you. A very common question that you probably get asked in your life or have been asked is, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? Maybe you're grown up and you're in university and you're still getting asked that question. What do you want to be when you finish university? What are you working towards, right? When I was in elementary school, teachers asked you that question, and high school, and I always had one answer only. I want to be a professional video game player. I want to get paid to play video games. Come on, that's my dream. What do you want to be? professional video game player. Everyone's like, that's not a real occupation. I'm like, yeah, no, yeah, it is. You bet. You'll see. Okay. What do you want to be? It's always, what do you want to be? A doctor, a lawyer, a musician, police officer. What do you want to be? And I think, what do you want to be is the wrong question. It's a bad question to ask ourselves. Not what we should be asking ourselves. What do you want to be? That's a funny story. When I was in grade 10, I was in a class called Career and Personal Planning, right? CAP for short, Career and Personal Planning. And that's when everyone is in this class. We're trying to plan for our future. So they're all asking the question, what do you want to be? What do you want to do when you graduate? What do you want to be? You got 2 years left of high school, right? They're like, these years matter because you're going to choose what you're going to be. And I'm like, I wish you told me grade 1 to 9 did not matter because I would have slacked more. Only 10, 11, 12 matter. Then you get to university and everyone's like, high school doesn't matter. It's just about passing university. Then you get your degree and you're like, your grades don't matter. You just need your degree. It never matters, right? We took this career aptitude test in this grade 10, and the way this thing worked, did you guys ever take those career aptitude tests? Right? You answer some questions. You'd answer about 10, and then it would give you some examples, and then you'd answer 10 more, and it would narrow it down. You'd answer 10 more, it would narrow it down. So I answered the first 10, and what popped up in my list of examples was firefighter. And I was like, dang, that's cool. I could be a firefighter. I could fight fire, right? That's a valuable trait. I don't think this program knows that I am 6'1", 130 pounds, and there's no way I could ever lift another human. But I'm a firefighter. That's cool. I was really hoping for professional video game player, but they didn't code that one into the system. So then I answered 10 more questions, right? He's got more to go. It's going to narrow it down for me. And the next thing that pops up, astronaut. Wow. I know. So I'm like, astronaut? Like, am I some kind of super genius firefighter astronaut? Is that what I'm supposed to be? I'm going to fly in space. I'm going to kick fire's butt all day long. Like, this is my life. This is amazing. And then I answered 10 more, and they both went away, and I was super sad. But for those, 2 minutes, I had high hopes and dreams. Become an astronaut firefighter. I don't remember what actually ended up being the result. It doesn't matter, Nothing matters in school. School matters. Stay in school. Get good grades, guys. Okay, it's going to lead you places and things like that. What do you want to be? It's such a misleading question because it says all that you are is in this thing you're going to be. You're going to become this one thing, your career. And your value, your worth is because of what you have become. Getting firefighter and astronaut, I thought those are cool things worthy of praise, right? Those are high, awesome jobs, amazing things, right? What do you want to be? It says these things are going to define you. But a better question to ask yourself is, what do you want your life to look like? What do you want your life to look like? And where does God fit into that? Does your life have God in it? What do you want your life to look like? I want my life to look like one that follows God. I want my life to look like one that has made choices that honor God. That I can look back on my life and say, I followed God as best as I could. That's what I want my life to look like. I want to make choices that are God-honoring, confident that God is leading me. I want to live a life that resembles that God is with me. And it's not so much what do I want to be, but it's what do I want my life to look like. I want my life to look like God is with me, for it to be known and obvious. Do you want your life to look like one where God is with you? The Bible is stacked of verses about God being with us and the result of that, the good things that means. I got 4 quick ones to spit off at you. The first one is Joshua 1, 5-6. This says, no man shall be able to stand before you all the days of your life. Just as I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will not leave you or forsake you. Deuteronomy 31:6 says, be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be in dread of them, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. Isaiah 41:10 says, Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Psalm 23:4 says, Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. See these things that come along with God being in our life. And I don't know what exactly it is in your life that you're facing or that you will face in your life. I don't know what difficulties you have. I don't know what God has called you to that might seem difficult, but I do know that God is with you. Because he tells us over and over again that he will be with you. And that you have nothing to fear when God is with you. That we can have that sort of confidence. That you can get through this. That whatever is aching in your heart so much, God is with you. He will not leave you or not forsake you. And you will get through it. You've got him right there. He will not leave you. Right? He'll uphold you with his righteous right hand. He's with you. I don't know how else to get that across, but he is with you. And as much as things can come and get us down and bog us down, and we can wonder, why is this happening? We also forget simply that God is with us. That he's with you. He'll uphold you. Now, there's one key thing when I was reading through all the stories of all the Bible all-stars, these guys who just followed God so well, who did amazing things with their life, and there's this one key thing that happens to all of them, and it's that they surrendered their life to God. That even though they had plans or ideas, or they were going one direction, it's they had this interaction with God, and then they surrender everything they got going on, and they're like, I'm what you got. I'm following you now. You got the plan. I'm doing what you want me to do. They just surrender their plans, surrender who they once were. They surrender their past or the former way of thinking, and they just follow God. Now, a life that realizes God is with you is going to give up your own plans and want to follow God's plans for your life. This is a surrendered life, surrendering our own way to God. I want to share with you a kind of funny verse on this note, and it's another one of Paul's letters. So Paul, he's always sending letters to people. And this is 1 Corinthians 6, 5-7. It is titled, Plans for Travel. It says, I will visit you after passing through Macedonia, for I intend to pass through Macedonia, and perhaps I'll stay with you or even spend the winter, so that you may help me on my journey wherever I go. For I do not want to see you now just in passing. I hope to spend some time with you if the Lord permits. Now let's read that again. A little bit of emphasis. I will visit you after passing through Macedonia, for I intend to pass through Macedonia, and perhaps I'll stay with you or even spend the winter, so that you may help me on my journey wherever I go. For I do not want to see you now just in passing. I hope to spend some time with you if the Lord permits. Paul, you are the most uncommittal person of all time. What are you doing? But it's not that. It's not commitment issues. It's not that. Don't use this verse and start bailing on all your friends' plans, okay? It's not what this is about. What this is about is that Paul lives this surrendered life. He lives this life that says, I might have plans, but ultimately God, he decides my steps. I'm following what he's got for me. So I might make some plans. Maybe. We'll see. Because I follow God. Because you got to remember, Paul, the story of Paul is that before he was a Christian, he's on the way to imprison and murder Christians. That's what he was about. That was his life. So he's got some plans in his mind. And then God blinds him. Jesus comes down in the flesh, starts saying, hey, man, stop what you're doing. This is why I came. This is what I'm about. This is what I want you to do. Completely reroutes his life, sends him to some other people. Paul goes on to become super Christian, write all the letters, help people plant churches, all these kind of things. So his plan drastically changed in that moment, right? So Paul now, he's surrendered. He's going, my life is for you, God. Every aspect of it, everywhere I go, everything I do, it is for you. So he's the guy who he says, hey, you got some good plans, perhaps. And if that comes true, it's good, maybe. We'll see if God allows. Like he's that guy because he's surrendered, because he knows, like, you can make your plans. God's got the real plan. God's got what you want. Ultimately, God is going to show us where to go. Famous verse is Proverbs 16, verse 9. Says, we can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. We can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. And so often in our life, like, big plans get celebrated so much. Celebrated and worshipped. When someone has a perfect plan for their life, we're like, oh, you got it, man. Oh, I'm so jealous. I wish I had a plan. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, we want these plans. And the bigger, the better, right? If someone's like, I'm going to change the world, we're like, ooh, wow, what big plans you have, right? I'm going to change the world. Believe me, guys, I got hats. I got t-shirts. I got pop sockets. I'm going to follow me on Instagram at BrettEllis12, changes the world. It's going to happen. Let's do it. The bigger, the better. That's what we think. But, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like talking to people about their plans. I like, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? I'll ask you that question because it is interesting. How's Bay doing? What are your plans for life? But we always got to remember to let God lead our plans. Let God lead the way. To include God in every aspect, everything that we do. If you are anything like me, then you can go days without ever thinking about God. Without ever stopping and asking God, how might you want to reroute me right now? Am I living the life that you want me to live? Sounds weird. Sometimes it sounds like it's in my own head, and it is. Anyway, let's move on from that. So, wow, distraction. So, like I was saying, we want to stop. We want to look. We want to ask God, what do you want me to do in my life? Am I going the right route? How might you want to reroute me right now? Am I taking the steps that you want me to take in my life? Because as much as I like plans, God has got to be the leader of my steps. And when I ask the question, like, does your life look like it? Or what do you want your life to look like? The answer is surrendered. I want my life to look like it's surrendered to God. What does that mean? I don't exactly know. But I want to follow God. I want a life that looks like it's surrendered. And God is guiding my steps. I want to invite the band up. I just have one more point before we close, one point to end on. It's Psalm 119, verse 105 says, your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path. You may have heard this verse before. What was sticking out to me when I was reading this verse this time is it's like, your word is a lamp for my feet. Have you ever been in complete darkness and held a lamp like this at your feet? It actually doesn't give you that much light. You can see your feet. You can see the path you're on. You don't see that far ahead of you. It's lighting up your steps, right? Only the next few steps. And it makes me think, just one step at a time. Just one step at a time. It's great to have these big ideas, big plans for the future, right? I don't mean this sermon to like discourage you from having big dreams and hopes and wanting to do things in your life. But tonight I'd like to ask you where you're at right now. What do your current steps look like? What steps are you taking right now? Because anyone can say that they're going to be surrendered in the next season, but how surrendered are you right now? What does your life look like right now? Because you're only as surrendered as your next step, as the next choice, as the next time you've included God in what you're doing. And the last thing I want to say is that everyone and anyone who has ever wanted to know God, who's ever followed God, who's ever become a Christian in their life, who's ever done anything, who's ever followed his path, every single one of them was not perfect. Not one of them was perfect. It wasn't like they were sinless, so God came alive to them or something like that. They were all imperfect, and God is not looking for your perfection. He's not looking, that's not what the Bible is about. He wants to be with you. He wants to be present in your life. He wants you to want to be with him. Tonight I want to give you an opportunity to simply declare that God is with you. To want him in your life. To say, God is with me and I want to live like it. I want my life to look like it. That's what I want. This can be your first time ever saying that to God. You can enter into knowing who God is. Or it might just be a declaration that you need to make. And say, God, I want to declare this tonight that I want to live a life that is with you. So I want to invite you tonight to live a life with God and surrender your surrender to him. So I'm going to ask that everyone just bow their heads, just out of respect for the people around you. And if you're here, you want to declare tonight that God is with you, and you want to live like it. You want to live like he's with you. To follow his light step by step. Put away fear and uncertainty. Put away worry about the future. To put your plans in God's hands and just know that he'll take care of you. Would you just raise your hand tonight, and I would just like to pray for you. Is there anyone here who simply just wants to declare that? It's this thing that's between you and God. But I would like to just be there and with you in this choice and pray with you. But is there anyone else who wants to just declare that tonight? To say, God, I want to live a life that follows you. And this might be your first time doing something like this. This is also for just anyone who wants to surrender their life to God. Maybe just where you're at right now in your life, just realizing this is something that you want to do for your future. If that's you too, throw your hand up. I'd love to pray with you. All right, that's great. Let's pray. God, I just thank you for everyone here and everyone who has put their hand up and decided to just submit their life to you, God. To surrender their way, their plans, their future, and say that I want to follow you, God. God, you say you are a God who is with us and for us, that you raise us up, that you protect us, you guide us, and we have nothing to fear. So God, I just pray that you speak that into each and every one of our lives here tonight. That as we live our lives, as things come our way, that we're able to fall back on you, God, and say, no, I remember God is with me right now. And God is the one who establishes my steps, that although I have these plans, God, I'm following the steps that you have for me. Your word is a light for my path. God, would you just remind us of that tonight and just empower and encourage us as we go forward, as we live these lives out that follow you, God. In your name we pray. Amen. If it was your first time doing something like this or making a decision like that, I want to tell you, or I'll ask you that don't just leave tonight without telling someone. Tell one of our leaders, tell your friend you came with or something like that. But this is a great thing and something to be celebrated. So just say, hey, I put my hand up. It was great. Good time. 10 out of 10. Would hand up again. Thank you for inviting me or anything. But it's a good thing, so we like to celebrate it and be there with you because it's an awesome decision. And we're all doing this together. We're all following God together. So we like to know and help each other. So we're going to go into something we call response time right now. And this is a time where we're going to have a few leaders in the back on both sides back there. And they are there to talk and pray with you about anything that has stuck out in the message or anything that's just tingling inside your heart, anything that you want to talk about. We're there just to talk with you guys and be there for each other. So if that's you, if you got something on your mind, something you just want to talk more about, or you want prayer for something in your life, if I've been talking about something